Erling Haaland is one of the most informed strikers right now. This was his first colorway, and today we're going to actually talk about his second signature colorway. Now, this is a really interesting pair of football boots with a lot of stories behind it, some kind of funny and weird stuff, obviously from a few sad events that have happened recently. I know that sounds really cryptic, but I will get into it in this video. Now, this is a pair of football boots that, from a media perspective, as you can see, GX2 Elite FG, Erling Haaland, or EH, my usual size 9 US. These are the firm ground model, so UK8, 27 centimeters, Euro 42.5. Now, as we get these boots open, you'll notice this very, very cool dark blue and kind of interesting orange flame elemental type patterning with their new Force 9 logo. So that's the new kind of Erling Haaland, how would you say, brand, I guess, is this Force 9. So very, very nice. But as you can see from the branding here and some of the patterning that also shows up on the football boots, this boot was supposed to release about a week after the tragedies that happened in Los Angeles with the fires that actually happened. And so it's not funny because of the fires, it's just wild because the normal consumer would never know this or never think about it. But when a lot of the commercials and stuff were filmed for this boot, probably months ago now, probably in November or October, a lot of the marketing materials actually included eruptions and flames and stuff in the background, which you obviously can't do right after a natural disaster like this or a tragedy. Lots of homes burned down. It was a whole thing. So Nike actually had to reshoot the entire plethora of the Force 9, this new Erling Haaland colorway, to make sure that it wasn't going to be a problem from a media perspective and put them in a bad light. So this is the challenge with marketing. This is the challenge with having a YouTube channel, right? What do you say? Is something going to be, as a brand, you want to think about what are the things that we can say? What are the things that we can't say? And in this case, they really had to be careful with some of the stuff that they were going to put out and ended up not putting it out because it was too sensitive to this natural disaster that happened. Kind of a wild story. But anyway, let's jump into this pair of football boots from Erling Haaland. Boom, here we go. All right, so very similar to the string bag. It's a navy blue or kind of royal navy blue upper with this sort of flame element or very elemental elements here back in there. And then you've got the Force 9 logoing as opposed to the Haaland logoing on the previous generation. So Force 9 has become sort of he's like a force of nature. That was the whole marketing around this. And now the marketing is focused on being a force of nature. He's inevitable. He's going to show up whether you like it or not. It's that sort of thing. It's the word is like elemental. That's where this comes from. So interesting colorway. I'm definitely not a huge fan of it, to be honest. I think it's fine looking. I think the previous generation, this like bright orangey red with the metallic red and blue accent is a lot better in my opinion. But this is a cool colorway. It's going to look great in a Man City kit, especially if they wear the light blue with these light blue accents all around with all the logoing, including that Force 9. So very, very cool there. We'll get this other one out of the box and throw this over. And as you know, this is probably like the 5th Phantom GX2 that I've actually reviewed. So we're just gonna stay here in the studio as opposing to do another play test of these, simply because the other videos that I have on my channel already have a ton of try-on stuff as well as playtest and 1-month reviews. These are one of my favorite boots on the market outside of the sole plate, which I'll get into in just a minute. So this is a standard GX2 for all intents and purposes, which is one of the lightest Phantom generations from Nike, if not the lightest Phantom from Nike. It is a one-piece grip knit upper that basically goes from here all the way around to the inside of that kind of the back part of your heel, or the rear quarter, if they call it, which is a really nice pre-coated yarn material that then is woven together to create both a really seamless and kind of waxy sensation, but it's also going to be really good for being hydrophobic. So it's not going to allow a ton of water in as well, which is really nice. And then the sole plate is that Cyclone 360 sole plate and stud pattern that we got from the Luna 2, which is probably my least favorite sole plate on the market right now, or at least it's one of them. I think it's completely pointless. I don't know why they went with this rotational stuff. I have worn these quite a few times on firm ground pitches and on artificial ground pitches, and they really aren't special. There's nothing about this sole plate that really does it for me, including the fact that they are not the best in terms of snapback. They're not bad, but it's also not that great. The heel area is fairly generic, but that's actually the case with a lot of Nike models nowadays because they're going for a little more catered to everybody kind of vibe. And I think you can see that with the construction and the upper from the Vapor 16 and Superfly 10, because they've gone with grip knit. It's a bit of a more wide shape, and there are some other elements of that football boot that make it a little more generalist, if you will, as opposed to previous Vapors, which have been super exclusive in terms of who can actually wear them from a foot shape perspective and all that. So these are definitely a pair of football boots that I absolutely love. It's one of the only football boots that I fit into straight out of the box with no break-in time, and the heel area is part of that. It's a very neutral heel area. It's got a lot of perforated suede in there, a lot of padding, probably about that much, and definitely a boot that I would recommend for people who have a much wider midfoot as well. Now, as far as performance goes from this upper, it's very, very soft. It's really nice, super easy to break in, great kind of shot surface here as well when you're pinging the ball, bending the ball, doing any kind of ball manipulation. It's really, really nice. You get a waxy, grippy feeling on the ball, particularly when any sort of striking happens, which is sort of the design of the Phantom series. As I said before, the sole plate's kind of meh from my personal perspective. It's just like whatever. Heel area is really good. There isn't as much lockdown as some people are going to want, but you get comfort as an upside of that. So it's a little bit less structured, but I don't mind it because the comfort and performance out of this upper is absolutely fantastic. It is one of the only boots that I can fit into without break-in time, and this new generation of Phantom GX2, I believe it will be called, is going to come out. My guess is it's sometime this year. The GX2 has been out for over a year now, so I'm going to guess between March and July. I know that's a big window, but I would guess Q2 probably. Q2 of this year of 2025, we'll get a new Phantom series. So if this is one of your favorite boots on the market, like it is for me, this is definitely a boot that I would recommend buying a few colors of, whichever ones you like. I am preferential to this one, and of course my favorite colorway being the all blue, like kind of my brand blue, the kind of turquoise blue. I love that colorway. So that's my favorite, but I am looking forward to a new generation, and I really hope that they change the sole plate. I don't really necessarily need them to change the upper all that much because the upper's amazing. The one-piece upper just feels so, so good. But I do think they need to change the sole plate, and I think there's some other things that you could probably do with the Phantom series. I mean, I loved the Phantom, I guess, Hypervenom Phantom, Hypervenom 1, Hypervenom 3, the Phantom Venom, what other Phantoms do I have on here? GX1, Phantom Ultra. Like, there's a lot of really good Phantom series, and I hope that they create something that's new and innovative, but it doesn't really change the general shape and construction of the boot, which is suitable for wider foot shapes and just a boot that striking feels amazing in. And that's one thing that I love about the Phantom GX2. So that is the Haaland GX2. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave down in the comment section below whether or not this style of video just inside the studio for boots that I've already reviewed a bunch of, and I don't really feel the need to do on feet because you guys have already seen what they look like on feet and what they feel like on feet in other videos. But yeah, let me know if you like this format of video, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, be awesome, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.